Fun fact: Zero Tolerance is a collaboration between Kershaw Knives, Ken Onion, and Strider Knives. On the TV show NCIS, Gibbs has been known to use ZT knives. In Season 7, Episode 12, Gibbs and DiNozzo wield the 0301 and the 0300. Gibbs quote, "Rule number 9, never go anywhere without a knife."
How's it going, everyone? Today I have a new knife review for you, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Zero Tolerance 0350. Now, this is not a new knife to my collection, and I've actually been rotating this in and out of my EDC since mid-October. So in this video what I want to do is cover some brief history on Zero Tolerance. I want to talk about the knife specifications as well as talk about this particular knife in more detail. So first off, Zero Tolerance is a joint venture between Kershaw Knives, Ken Onion, and Strider Knives. And in the knife community, all three of those names are synonymous with quality, practicality, and functionality of their knives. I have been a long-time customer and believer in Kershaw Knives. I think they provide one of the sharpest, best quality production knives on the market. And it only goes to show that with this Zero Tolerance knife here, all those same aspects have been put into this particular line of knives. So I would, without a doubt, highly recommend this. You don't have to continue watching this review anymore, other than to say that if you're looking at this knife, go out and get one. It's outstanding. I absolutely love it and would highly recommend it to anyone. Alright, so for the specifications of this knife, right, we have a closed length of 4 5/8 inches long, an open length of 7 7/8 inches long, and a blade length of 3 1/4 inches. Right, the overall weight comes in at 6.2 ounces, so it's definitely not a lightweight knife, but for what you're getting, it is exceptional. Alright, the hand material is a textured G10. The blade steel is the outstanding S30V, and it has a tungsten DLC coating on that blade, which really helps with, which helps to enhance the hardness of the steel, even though S30V is a hard steel to begin with, and it reduces drag on any material you're trying to cut through, such as cardboard. It also has a non-reflective aspect to it, which if you want a tactical type of knife, I guess you could go towards something like this, although I don't like the term tactical, but it will fit that bill if you need it to. Alright, so in my experience, this knife in an EDC roll has been outstanding. This knife line, Zero Tolerance, is definitely marketed towards more of a military or law enforcement profession, EMS, or any type of first responder, where you're going to need something that will not fail on you. And I think in that role it would perform exceptionally well. There are a lot of stories and articles written about these knives that say just that. In an EDC role, however, I think it does the same job just as well. Although I think you're getting a little bit overbuilt knife and a little bit more rugged knife than you would need on a daily basis, but it still functions the same. Alright, like I said, it's 6.2 ounces, and a lot of that comes from the thickness of the blade and the full stainless steel liners on both sides. Alright, you can see the very nice thick stainless steel liners, but it really does give you a very hefty, very solid knife in case you ever needed it. Alright, the S30V blade is beautiful, comes razor sharp from the factory, have no complaints with that whatsoever, and in the almost 3 months that I've been carrying and using this knife, I have not had to resharpen it. Alright, the coating on here, the tungsten DLC coating, has held up exceptionally well. I typically don't like black coated blades because once you use them a little bit, they do start to wear, and some of the other finishes that aren't like this one that Zero Tolerance provides you just start to chip off, and so I don't typically like that. But through use and through wear, it hasn't really done anything to that blade. You can see a couple marks right there in the front of the blade as I've gone through cardboard, whatever material, where it's kind of dulled it a little bit, dulled that finish, but really doesn't look too bad. Alright, as you look back at the G10 here, you can see it's still pretty much looks brand new. Alright, very nice texture. It's not too aggressive where it's going to rip off your skin, but it does have a very nice, secure feel to it. Right? If your hands are wet, if your hands are bloody, if they happen to be like that, your hand is not going to slip on that G10. Very nice texturing and not too aggressive. I think other textured G10s, such as ones that Cold Steel provides, is a little bit too aggressive and actually is kind of detrimental to the function of the knife. This zero tolerance G10 is perfectly fine. Alright, you do have a 4-way positioning pocket clip, tip up, tip down, left hand or right hand. So it's completely ambidextrous. Very nice. It does not sit too terribly low in the pocket though. And I guess that's a good thing, so if you're wearing gloves, you have enough real estate to really grab onto it and pull it out of your pocket. Although, with such a large knife, it would be nice if it could sit a little bit farther down in your pocket, just to help conceal it a little bit better. Okay. This knife deploys either by thumb stud or flipper. I do find that the flipper is a little bit easier to access. Both with gloved hands and ungloved hands, it's very easy to operate and function. All right, the thumb studs here do work, but they're not as quick and they're sometimes a little bit finicky. But either way will work just fine. Do have an adjustable pivot and a little lanyard hole in the back here. I do think for how large this knife is, they should have made this lanyard hole a little bit larger. I can't fit any 550 cord through there, so I don't exactly know what the purpose of that is, in my opinion. Now, if you like jimping, you're going to love this knife. There's jimping everywhere. Jimping on the liners on the top here, actually on a little bit of the spine of the blade, and on the back of the knife itself. Now, the jimping on the front here on the top of the liners is outstanding. It really locks your hand in and gives you a very nice, solid, secure grip. Your hand isn't going anywhere. Alright, you can even choke up on the blade, and there's this little cutout at the beginning of the blade spine that your thumb just rests in. Really gives you a good position to control the blade when you're using it. Nice, deep forward choil. Right? Very good, very ergonomic, extremely comfortable in the hand. As you move back, you have again another section of jimping on the back here. Now this is the one hit I do have to give the knife. Right? I do not carry this clip to my pocket with the pocket clip because of this jimping back here. If I clip it in my pocket and my right hand goes in and I'm not wanting to grab the knife, as I put my hand in my pocket, my pinky finger and the side of my hand rubs on that jimping. And it is very irritating. It's so aggressive. You know, the jimping is in the G10, is in the liner, is in the back strap or back spacer. Right, and goes all the way across the full length of the knife. And so there's no way to get into your pocket, at least in my opinion, without snagging your finger on that jimping. For that reason, I actually had a sheath made by my friend here on YouTube, Christian, and his company Freestyle Leatherworks. And it just fits in there perfectly. This goes onto my side, slip my belt through, and it rides there perfectly. So that takes away the issue with trying to go in my pocket and having my hand all messed up because of that jimping on the back here. Okay. Alright, now for a quick size comparison. We have the zero tolerance in the center here. Just going to compare it to a couple other knives. First is the Benchmade 940. Then the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. Spyderco Tenacious, you can see, is pretty much the exact same size. And the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Now for an open comparison. Zero tolerance. 940. Mini Grip. Tenacious. And Paramilitary 2. So that's just been a quick size comparison for you. Alright, now for a quick cut test for the zero tolerance. Kind of just cut through this little pasta box here. See how it does. As you can see, even though this is a thicker blade, it doesn't have any problem going through very thin paper. And this is after several months of use. So, really good job. Zero tolerance. Alright, now for an up-close look at the Zero Tolerance 0350. You can see there's very little blade wear after significant use on this knife. See the textured G10 there? Back spacer. See the very aggressive jimping both on the front and the back. Full stainless steel liners. Lockup is pretty much 50-50. S30V. So that's just been up close and personal look at Zero Tolerance 0350. So my final thoughts on Zero Tolerance 0350. If you're looking at it, go buy it. It's an outstanding hard use utility folder, something that if you need to really beat on, really pound on, if you had to use your knife as a pry bar, this is a knife to use. It's outstanding. It really won't let you down. I haven't had any major issues with it. Like I said, not a big fan of the jimping on the back here and the pocket clip carry. But other than that, it's just been an outstanding knife, and I've really enjoyed the time that I've had to use it and carry it. And it'll definitely be my go-to knife if I ever need something to really use hard. Zero Tolerance has my vote. I've been a big fan of Kershaw and now a big fan of ZT. If you're in the market for hard use utility folder, definitely check one out. I appreciate everyone watching, and I'll see you next time.